So this is what I picked up for £750. It is a lovely blue Renault Megane. So if I just take you for a quick walk around the car, you can see that the lovely blue paintwork actually isn't too bad. Now, the first niggle point we come onto is a dent in this panel of the car, but honestly I'm hoping I can probably just get that pulled out and then this bumper should sit in a little bit better. One of the good points about this car is actually it comes with a nice set of alloy wheels. Now they are scuffed a little bit, but they're honestly not too bad for the age of the car. Now, the previous seller did show me receipts for having the brake pads changed, I think, on all 4 corners. So that is a plus and something else that doesn't need doing. So if we look in the back, it's a very squeaky door, just so you can hear that again. That is a very, very squeaky door. Hopefully something we can fix with just a little bit of grease and WD-40. Coming into the back, it is a nice 5-seater, so there is plenty of space for all your pals in the back. If we come into the passenger side, this is one of the issues that needs to get sorted. If we look down in this footwell, it is currently absolutely sopping wet under here. So we need to find out what's causing that and if we can get it sorted or not. I've currently just got it propped open, so hopefully it will air dry a little bit in this lovely sunny weather that we have in the UK once a year. In the boot, plenty of space. The only thing that needs fixing here is there is a little toggle here which fits, but this side is missing one, and so this parcel shelf doesn't actually go up when the boot goes up. Hopefully that is a cheap piece that I can source online. One of the other things I noticed is when I tried to use the rear washer fluid, it made the sound like the pump was going, but nothing was coming out. So I need to see if maybe I can get that cleaned out. Now, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but these headlights look a bit foggy and look a bit faded. Now, I've seen online that you can sand them down with different grit and get it looking good that way, or there's some polymerization technique you can use. So that's something I have to look into. If you know anything about how to get these headlights looking good, please let me know down in the comments. So let's pop the bonnet and show you what we're working with underneath. One of the extra nice things about this is it's actually got a strut bonnet. So it literally just lifts up straight away and I don't need to try and hold it in place. So under here we have a 1.6 litre engine that is from factory giving out 110 brake horsepower. However, with the age of the car and having driven it, I'm pretty sure it's got about 2 brake horsepower, but maybe that's just me comparing it to the Audi TT, but definitely a little bit slow, but not too bad. So we've done the oil check on here and there was no milky residue, so we know that that's all good and there's nothing to worry about in terms of any gaskets that have gone. One of the things I will be doing is giving it a full service in terms of engine oil, oil filter, hopefully do some other bits as well. One of the things I only noticed after picking up the car was it's got something that clearly was stuck on the dashboard and they've ripped it off and left a whole load of horrible gunk stuck on the dash, which I'm gonna have to figure out a way to clear because that looks stuck on pretty well. Okay, coming around to the driver's side. So it's probably worth mentioning that this car, it was cheap because it has a few little issues, and one of the main things being that it's on 117,000 miles. So it's definitely not lower mileage by any means. But again, I don't think 117 is too high and it's definitely got good resale potential as long as we fix any of those little issues I've already mentioned. All right, let's give you a start up so you can hear what this thing sounds like, and then this is what it sounds like when it starts up. Starts up on the button, really nice. Sometimes I find it struggles to hold revs when it first starts up and then it seems to find its balance. Maybe that's an O2 sensor, maybe that's why it's struggling a little bit, maybe it's just a little bit clogged up. Something I could look into. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Is that what it could be? Let me know, I'm not really too sure. So despite the high mileage on this thing, it does actually drive incredibly well. I have no issues, I think, in terms of how well the car runs, fingers crossed. One of the previous advisories on the MOT was to do with the steering rack, about having a little bit of play, which you can see it's a little bit, I'm wheeling the wheel and it's not doing much, but it's really not that bad, as well as some anti-roll bars. Now, from driving it so far, this makes no sounds over the bumps, and I don't really have too much of an issue in terms of the steering with this thing. So we're just gonna pull in here really quick. Now, because of the dent that it's got on this side, one of the issues I have actually noticed is when opening the door, you can hear that. Now, I don't know if it just needs an oil or whether it's catching slightly, but it seems okay. It's not too bad. One of the really cool features about this car, and I just want to show you that this has a built-in sat nav. Now it's called the 1.6 110 horsepower TomTom VVT. I think that's the exact spec of the car. So it comes with a sat nav built in, which is really cool in my opinion, and something that definitely gives it a little bit of extra sell potential. Now it's got electric mirrors that work on both sides, both of those works, and these electric windows on all four, and they work lovely. However, this side, if I show you very quickly, you can already see, I'm not going to go any further, the front tips down too early, and so it doesn't open and close properly. You can see it's not quite right, and so I don't want to fully drop it because otherwise I'm scared it won't go back up again. Best case scenario, the window, actually the glass itself has just come off the rails and I just need to tighten it and that'll fix the problem. It could be a whole new window regulator. Not very expensive, but something I'll have to learn how to do because I've never done anything with window regulators or even taking a door card off before, so that'll all be new for me. Now, I didn't just pick up this car to make a quick turnaround and make profit. That wasn't the main kind of purpose with it. But what I really got the car was I wanted to get some more mechanical kind of experience under my belt. So this is a perfect way of doing that, having a car with a few problems which I can tackle and have a go at and get some more experience and make hopefully some good content for you guys as well. The other benefit of having this car is the fact that it's going to put a lot less mileage on my Audi TT, as I can use this to drive to work daily. And in about a week of driving to work, I normally do about 250 miles. So the mileage does rack up quick and I want to stop putting mileage on the TT. One of the issues I have noticed though is that when going around corners, it sounds like I'm driving an aquarium. This thing is ridiculous with how much water is sloshing around in it. I have no idea where the water is. It's definitely not the fuel tank or anything like that. It is definitely water sitting somewhere, but we need to find out where the water's sitting and let it all drain out, because if we don't, I'm basically just going to constantly be driving an aquarium. So we'll get that sorted as soon as possible. One of the slightly bigger issues I'm a bit more concerned about is when driving it, is when I put it into third gear, just listen to the sound it makes. Give it a bit of power. You can hear the third gear there. It gives a little bit of resistance. Like, it's nothing too major. It's not making any like awful noises or anything like that, but it's showing signs that something could be wrong. Now, the way I'm going to try and fix it is simply just by changing the transmission oil, and hopefully that fixes the problem. It's got a little bit of power. It's not too bad. It's nothing crazy. I think it's probably on par with, or maybe even slightly less than, the Fiesta. I'm not sure how much this thing weighs. That is something I'll put up on screen now, show you how much it weighs. And then if it's meant to have 110 brake horsepower, it gives you an idea of the power to weight ratio. But it's meant to have a 0 to 60 of about, I think, 10 point something seconds. Okay, it goes up to a 60 here. We can try and give it a little bit of power. Doesn't like changing in third gear. Bit more power. Fourth gear is fine. Bit more power. It's still trying to get to 60. We will get there in a few working days. This very much reminds me of what it was like in the Fiesta. Very slow to get going, but does eventually get there. But the plan is to just keep the car for a short while, use it as a little bit of a commuter to save mileage on the TT, and then sell it at the end of that. And then hopefully I'll actually be able to sell it for more than I bought it for. That is the hope anyway. So this is the car in its entirety. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? And let me know if there's anything you spotted that could potentially help me with fixing it and getting it back on the road and making a potential sell in the future. But that is going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, please give it a like and a subscribe so you don't miss any of the future content coming up on the Renault or the Audi TT. But that's it for this one. I will catch you in the next one.